How you guys doing? This is Josh here with Ohio Fish Rescue. Well, let me tell you, when it rains, it pours. So while this world crisis is going on, we're out here in the fish room and we're dealing with a little bit of a problem, so to speak. Well, you can see the tank's a little bit cloudy. There's always a reason for it because our tanks are always usually sparkling clean. Well, I come over here to find out the 4000 was not running. I just started getting water pumped back up to it. So now our filters are just starting to come back online. As you can see, I've got this hose pumping up, looking full of water. Our reservoir is down, pretty low. Well, we ended up having a power outage and a bunch of our breakers tripped. And we didn't catch it in time, but you can look over here. Amongst that, this 265 is empty. Well, come to find out, there's a puddle of water on the floor. What can this be from? So I get under there and I investigate, and turns out one of our FX5s blew a seal on the pump side. So now I have to fix that and get this pump back up and running. So I'm going to not use the FX5 to pump up to this 265 anymore. I'm going to use a regular utility pump just so the FX5 is not using any suction power, because that might have been a reason why this FX5 right here blew a seal. It probably got too hot because the water level got too low. So we're going to try and correct for that, and I'm going to go and try and find a seal real quick. So while I'm out here trying to find these seals and whatnot, you can see this is a behavior these two gar have been doing for months on end. I do believe the platinum is a male and the short body is a female, but these two gars, both platinums, do end up getting into it every now and again to chase this one around. Might be breeding, signs. It might not be. It could just be, temperaments or whatnot. I just find it awfully weird that this has been going on for, 4 months at a time. So to put this in a size comparison, that gar was 48.5 inches when we got him in. So Brutus is way bigger now. So I'm guessing Brutus to be at 4.5 foot. Thing is just massive. But on a positive note, you guys can see all this is looking mighty clean through here. So we've been inside the house for the last few days. So we've had nothing to do but clean. So we've got a lot of tanks reorganized. We got all this crap over here organized. We still got a bunch on these stands to do. But this room is looking a lot better and will look better continuing for the next months or so. So stay tuned, guys. So for all you hobbyists, it does pay to have a stockpile of utility pumps just sitting around. So I'm going to pick one of these guys, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, that one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take one of these pumps. I'm going to go ahead and hook it up to the 265 and at least get that tank back up and running on the system. Here we go, first foot in the stingray pool. Look who's coming over to check me out. So you guys can see this is our smaller arapaima. That's my foot next to him. He is a big boy, so we might be ready to get him back over into the pond with Brutus. So as you guys can see, just, swish the little stingrays out your way. Just don't step on them because they can sting you. Don't try and freak them out like I just did there. Bad idea. But we're over here. I'm going to go ahead and take this FX5 hose, and we are going to set this up out the way. And we are going to bring our handy dandy pump down into the water. Bam, you're just going to set it on the bottom of the tank. And then I got to figure out where I'm going to plug this in. So I just had to run and get some more parts. These are the clips that go over the back of the tanks and some clips to secure them. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on the hose and make sure that this has no chance of falling out the tank. Alright guys, so finally we are back in business. You can see I've got the FX5 intakes and outlets there. I've got the utility pump pumping up to this outlet there. That little pump pumps out a lot of water, as you can see. So this is going to fill the 265, cycle through, come out this overflow, and of course go to a bucket with bio balls and fiber floss, so none of this tank dirt's coming back into our reservoir. Over here we have the FX5 on this tank, but this little tiny little power head of a pump pumps up to the Pittsburgh's tank, comes out through this overflow and back to here, which is why this tank is also on our system. So things are calming down a little bit, so let me go ahead and fix the FX5 now. So that's the work of the little utility pump I just showed you. So you guys remember that utility pumps are your friends in the fishy world. This guy's also going to like the extra current, I must say. So we're going to wait till this can fill. But like I said, over here is the FX5. I'm going to show you how to take this apart and exchange the seal on this FX5. Alright, so after some further investigation, I must conclude that it is not a faulty seal. We had overfed last night, and somehow this FX5 sucked up a huge chunk of food, so no water was coming through the inlet. So what that means is water was heating up inside the motor, inside the housing, and all this water was really, really hot. So that means all your seals expand, and as things expand, that allows little tiny areas for water to get through. I already tested it and I see no leaking once I let the thing cool off. So I'm going to go ahead and take my chances, hook this thing right back up and see what we're doing here. And there she is, filling with water. So while I let that fill, I'm going to come over here and show you guys how much water is flowing through the 265 at all times. So you see it kind of gurgles a little bit because the FX5 is filling with water right now. But you can see its max flow comes out every once in a while. But this is all the water we have flowing through the 265 at all times. So catastrophe averted. The pump is back up and running. It did cool down. The seal went right back into its spot. It is not broken or messed up, deformed. There is no leaking on the FX5. So this is flowing back through. This tank will clear up in a matter of an hour or so. And now you can see that's the amount of water we have running through the 265 at all times. So that's going to be a good current flow for the Armadas. He absolutely loves swimming in current. That's how these guys get so big. So yeah, you guys are noticing where's the other Armadas. We actually had to split them up because he is a big old meanie. So we put the other Armadas over into this tank. There he is. So he got beat up a little bit, so he's over here healing. So he hasn't ate over here yet, but just give them time. These guys go on strike for months at a time. So as you guys can see, the tanks are clearing up a bit. We did have a little problem with the pump here for just a small moment of time. I had to get back in there to take the pump apart. I found out that the little rubber bushing that holds the impeller in place, it was actually missing. So I had to go and find one and get that all set back and up. So now we are good to go. This should never happen again to our setup ever again. So like I said, whenever it rains, it pours. When something breaks, there's, you know, a domino effect around here, and it's just a pain sometimes. So along with this, I did happen to get all these carpet tiles soaking wet because I forgot, you know, the pool was filling. You can see it started leaking out over there. Gets in all these cracks, and the first thing to get wet and soak it up are these carpet tiles. Now, what wasn't a big leak, but you can see there's dry carpet, here's wet carpet. So I'm going to go ahead and ramp the heat up in here and let these carpet tiles dry out. And of course, I'll hit it with the shop vac first. But I can give you guys a little update on the 550 gallon over here with the fish that came back from Michigan. Also, as you can see, the FX5, no leaking whatsoever. So back to the 550 over here, guys. So you can see all the fish that came in from Michigan are doing great. I am treating them for bacterial right now because a couple of them were, you know, a little bit, you know, I didn't trust them. So I wanted to go ahead and treat them. As you can see, I've got extra air in here. There's a bunch of extra air over there. That iridescent shark's healing up. Buddha looking good. Catfish are looking good. The wound on his top healed up. You can see his whole face wound healed up too. Tiger shovel nose is looking great. So we're going to let these guys sit in here for probably another 2 weeks or so and heal up and be treated with the antibacterial. And we will go ahead and disperse these guys into new tanks. You guys can probably guess where they're going now. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want to see more crazy adventures with the Ohio Fish Rescue, be sure to subscribe. And as always, stay fishy, my friend.